Welcome back to my channel. This is Why Smart Online, where you get the best. Today's video, I am going to teach how you can solve this math problem properly. Many students may want to start with this kind of mathematics and start dividing both sides by 5. They start dividing both sides by 5, and at the end of the day, you are not getting into the solution. For example, if you divide, because some students may think this question is supposed to be written as 5x equals 38x over 2. So they want to divide both sides by 5. And when you do that, if you divide it by 5 here, 5 cancels. So they have x equals 38x over 2 divided by 5. In this way, there is not going to be any solution on this. Why? Because x is equal to x on both sides. So you are not getting any solution on that. In that way, this is a no-go area. Also, some students may look at it and say, okay, since we can't go through this way, can we just take logarithm to both sides? And if they do that, if they look at this question, 5 raised to the power x equals 38x over 2, and they take logarithm to both sides. So that will have log 5 raised to the power x equals log 38x over 2. Fine, you can go in that way. But what do you see again? If you use this formula that says if you have log of a base b raised to the power x, which is the same thing as you drop this x to give you x log a base b. If they do that the same way here, you're going to have x log 5 equals, they drop all this also, x over 2 log 38. Fine. Without wasting our time, the next thing they do is to divide both sides by log 5. And if they do that, they are still coming back to something like this, because x is present here, x is present here. Everything is no solution. Fine. But how do we tackle this kind of question? Why Smart has a solution for it. To tackle this kind of question, before we go into that, kindly subscribe to my channel. In that way, whenever I upload any video, it will definitely come to you, because you're going to be notified and you'll be able to watch and learn from that video. Now, how do we tackle this question? What if we look at it in this way and say, if we divide both sides by 5 raised to the power x, if we divide both sides by 5 raised to the power x, and if we know our law of indices properly, and we know our law of logarithm properly, and we know how we can convert these laws into one another, we should be able to find solution to this. So let's divide through by 5 raised to the power x. If we divide through by 5 raised to the power x, that means we're going to have 5 raised to the power x divided by 5 raised to the power x equals 38 raised to the power x over 2 divided by 5 raised to the power x. This is what we're going to have. Without wasting so much of our time, this cancels this. We have this as 1 equals 38 raised to the power x over 2 divided by 5 raised to the power x. Again, how do we go out from here? This is when it requires you to think about how can I convert from one indices to another. Do you realize that I can turn this x into x over 2? How do we do that? And also, looking at 5 raised to the power x, my explanation here is that I can turn 5 raised to the power x. 5 raised to the power x can be turned into 25 raised to the power x over 2. Does that make sense? Definitely. There is a sense in it, because 25 is the same thing as 5 raised to the power 2. And if you use this law of indices, a raised to the power m into bracket n, this is the same thing as a raised to the power m times n. So the same thing we're going to do here. If we say 5 raised to the power 2, which is going to be 25, into bracket x raised to the power 2. If we follow this law, this says that 5 raised to the power 2 times x raised to the power 2. So 2 cancels 2, so we are left with 5 raised to the power x here. That means that 5 raised to the power x is the same thing as 25 raised to the power x over 2. So I'm going to replace 5 raised to the power x as 25 raised to the power x over 2. Permit me to remove this. So if we do that, that means we're going to have 1 equals 38 raised to the power x over 2 divided by 25 raised to the power x over 2. And that way we have 1 equals 38 over 25 all into x raised to the power 2. Because there is a law in the indices that says that if we have a raised to the power x divided by b raised to the power x, this is going to give us a over b all raised to the power x. That is that. So we continue. In your way, you may think about 38 divided by 25, and you may also continue solving what we're solving. But right now, I'm not going to touch this, and the reason I'm not going to touch this, we are going to see that at the end of this solution. Let's quickly go through it. Then the next thing you have to do here, since you have 1 equals 38 divided by 25 raised to the power exponent, there is no way you can go than to look into logarithm. In this place, you have to take logarithm to both sides because there is no way out again. So take logarithm to both sides. In that way, I can say log both sides. Log both sides. So that means that I'll say log of 1 equals log 38 over 25 x. Some great mathematicians here, they already understood my explanation from here. Me to now say 38 divided by 25 is just like I'm taking my time because they already know where this will land into. Without wasting our time, we know that we can also use this law that says if we have, or we already have that law that I used to explain that you can drop this. So that means that we have log 1 into, if I drop this, I'm going to have x over 2 log 38 over 25. So the next thing you know that we can do is to now say divide both sides by log 38 over 25. But it's still a waste of time because this is going to give us, log 1 is going to give us 0. So if we have this as 0, if this is 0, automatically, whatever you divide with 0 is going to give you 0. But we are just doing it practically. So we have 0 equals x over 2 log 38 over 25. So that means that if we divide both sides by log 38 over 25, it's still going to give us 0. So if you do that, divide by log of 38 over 25, and I did the same thing here, log of 38 over 25, I'm still going to get 0. So that means that 0 equals x over 2. In that way, x is equals to 0. This is the answer to that. I'm pretty sure some great mathematicians here will ask, oh, why do I have to solve this now? I'm solving that because we are not all equal in math skill. From here, I can say this is 0, and answer x is equal to 0. Fine. But I still have to prove myself a little bit to ensure that, oh, this is what I mean, or this is what this question is talking about. So s equals 0. And we can do a check on that. If you want to do a check on that, check. If you have 5 raised to power x equals 38x over 2. X equals 0, so we have 5 raised to power x. 5 raised to power 0 equals 38, 0 divided by 2. And you know that if, one more thing, there is a difference from if you say 2 divided by 0 and 0 divided by 2. There is a difference between them. 0 divided by 2 will give you 0. And 2 divided by 0 will give you something we call infinity. That means you can't get answer for it. It is either an error or it's an infinity. It is an infinity. If you say 2 divided by 0, the answer to that is going to give you infinity. Or you can get answer for 0 divided by 2. So 0 divided by 2 here is going to give you 0. So we have 5 raised to power 0 is the same thing as 38 raised to power 0. And anything raised to power 0 is going to give you 1. So 1 equals to 1. So that is good. That is what we need. I appreciate you watching to the end. And if you have done that, watching this video to the end, and you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, because we have a lot. Thank you very much. I will see you. Bye.